Aloha, Yala na Piko, Kia Aloha, Kia Kua. Awaken all in the love and the light of the Creator. Here we are in Mauna Kea. Mauna Kea, also known as Mauna Kea. It's called by the ancient ones Mauna Kea because it's translated as, and it's called the Mountain of Sky Father. And many people throughout the world understand the perception, the awareness of Sky Father. Sky Father, those things above us in the atmosphere, in the heavens, in the sky. That realm is known as Sky Father by many of our peoples throughout this planet. And our planet we call Earth Mother. In Hawaii, we call it Papa Hanaumoku, the one who gives birth to the islands. And so we have Papa and Wakea. And it's called Mountain of Wakea, Mountain of Sky Father, because unlike any other mountains in the Pacific, it breaches into the realm of Wakea. This mountain is the highest mountain from the bottom of the sea floor to the top of its summit. But it's more than that. Our kupuna, our ancestors, the ancient ones, understood that it breaches into the realm of Wakea. It's above the clouds. It's in the sky of Wakea. Even though it's connected to Papa Hanaumoku, connected to Earth Mother, it's in the realm of Wakea. And that is why it's Wakea's mountain. That's why it belongs to Wakea. That's why it's the Mountain of Sky Father. So with just that understanding alone, that's why ancient ones understood and knew that it was sacred, because it belongs to Wakea. So if you're going up into the realm, up to the summit, you're going up into the realm of Wakea. Our kupunas, which our ancestors also understood that it's a piko. Hawaii we say the word piko. Piko has different connotations to it, different interpretations to it. But piko, on our body we have 3 piko. We have a piko on top here, which connects us to our ancestors, to our past. We have a piko where our navel is, connects us to our present generations. And the other piko is our genitalia, connects us to our future generations. So our piko within us, around us, above us, between us, below us, is a piko that connects us to the past, present, and future generations. The piko, there are also other types of piko on the islands on this planet. Some of these pikos are portals, openings, connections to other realms, to other dimensions. This piko up here at the summit of this mountain is a piko, it's a connection to the Creator. And from there, from the Creator from the Divine Ones, energies, life forces flow into these lands, flow in through this mountain, and extend beyond these islands, extend to other islands, to extend beyond the shores, extends to the Pacific, extends to the other continents, to other islands within the Pacific. So we have energies that flow in, life forces, and we also have energies that flow out of this summit. And that is why our ancient ones, even our great ali'i, our great chiefs, even our great kahuna, our great priest, none of them ever built anything, any huge temples, any huge man-made structures on the top of the summit. Because they understood that the top of the summit, just like the top of our heads, this piko, should remain clear, unobstructed. And so when you go to the summit today, you'll see that there's drastic desecration and destruction that has occurred on the very summit. And unfortunately, the astronomy activities and development has totally devastated the top of the mountain. If you ever go up to the top, and perhaps in the pictures and the visuals you'll see, they've cut like 30 to 40 feet at the top of our summit. They've excavated it. They cut it down. They cut it out. They just cut the mountain apart to build these telescopes there. And it started off with just one. Then and the next thing there's 1, 2, 3. Now we're up to 13 telescopes. There's no space on the mountain for any more telescopes. So what's upcoming now is continuous further destruction, desecration, development on the mountain. And the mountain just can't take it anymore. It's causing too much obstruction, too much interference with these energies from the Creator, from Keakua, and from everything below and above. Is just causing too much disharmony. And so what's being proposed now is another telescope. But it's not just one more. It's this telescope is so huge, so massive, that wants to be put on top of our sacred mountain. It's over 18 stories tall, over 180 feet high. And the next time, to give you the context, when you ever go to a city, count how many stories on top of a building, a high skyscraper. Count 18 stories. That's how high they want to build a building on top of our summit. We don't even have a building on this island of Hawaii that's that tall. I mean, even on the shoreline, there's no building on this island that's even that tall. Yet they want to put that size of that massive building on top of our sacred mountain. At a point, enough is enough. Too much is too much. This telescope is referred to as the 30-meter telescope, also called the TMT telescope. It's being proposed by entities, organizations, countries, partnerships from outside of Hawaii. They've come to our islands. They've already desecrated much of our lands, much of the top of our summit. They want to continue to desecrate what's there. And so we put a call to the peoples from California, where Caltech, University of California is involved with this project. You guys have already desecrated part of our mountain with the existing observatories. A call to the peoples of Canada, the First Nations peoples, the peoples of your land. You've already desecrated with another telescope that's already on the mountain. We put a call out to peoples of Japan. We've already desecrated, destroyed part of our mountain with your another telescope you have there. And then also to the peoples of China and India, that our mountain is sacred. You cannot continue causing destruction, desecration to our mountains, especially our sacred Mauna Kea, the mountain of Sky Father. And this proposed telescope is beyond what's up there. The size of the dome and the diameter is over 200 feet in diameter. If you know the size of an American football field, it's 2/3 the size of a football field. That's the diameter, that's the size of the scope of this building, this dome. Over 8 acres is going to be proposed to be excavated. Somewhere is down to 80 feet deep in the ground. This is not just any telescope. This is a massive telescope. And because there's no room at the top of the summit, now they're moving down below the top of the summit. And they're moving amongst the ancient shrines. So Kupu and the ancient ones, they never built anything on top of the summit, but they had small shrines. And when I say shrines, they're just stones that were set up, natural stones that were set up where they went to do prayers to the divine creator, to Keakua, where they did prayers in connection to those in the stars, to the star nations, where they did observations, astronomy observations of things in the heavens without causing a disturbance around them. They just set up these simple shrines, stones that were there, and they did their prayers there, and they sent it out throughout the universe. And this massive TMT telescope that's being proposed is going to be set right in the midst of this, right in the middle of all these shrines at this elevation. And so we just put a plea out to all the peoples, to all relations, to all our families, to all our ohana, our families all from here and afar, that please help us to protect our sacred mountain, help us to protect our sacred lands, and to help to prevent any further destruction and desecration. And we send our aloha from our Mauna Kea, from these islands, to all of you wherever you may be. Aloha nui, aloha no tātou, mahara nui na tui ana, aloha no tātou.
Thank you.
Poli ahu ka wahine ka paha, o poli ahu I ke kua lono o Mauna Kea.